Hi everyone, Naomi Tucker here, Alex Sousville, and we're going to talk you through the Coolmore Wootton Bassett Nunthorpe Stakes coming up on the gorgeous Knavesmire at York this Friday. 5 furlongs straight distance. Of course, it's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. And in the last 2 years, this race has been dominated by the mighty Batash. He is not lining up in here, but we're looking to crown a new sprint star. And I'm very much hoping it's going to be Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint victor, Golden Pal. Love his running style. I think it's going to be putting him in great stead here when the gates open. I don't believe anyone is fast enough to go with him early. How do you see that unfold for him, Alex? Do you think anyone's going to challenge him?
Well, we've seen what he's done in the U.S. and whether it's been the Breeders' Cup or any of the other races so far, we're very familiar with how talented Golden Pal is. He did have the one ship over to England, was beat just a neck back at Royal Ascot, but coming into this is absolutely the horse to beat and should be looked at that way.
Yeah, and of course, there are a couple of others that we will be eyeing up as well. One of those being the French filly, the 3-year-old Swayze for trainer Francis Rojo. William Buick will be taking the ride. She was victorious in the Group 2 King George Qatar Stakes last time out, where she closed into a decent pace. And she enjoyed the cutback as well, back from 6 furlong to the 5 furlong distance. She was in the Commonwealth Cup before. What I love the most about her run that day is that she had a wall of horses in front of her. But once she got out into the clear, absolutely devastating turn of foot. So I'll be looking to her to maybe try and reel in Golden Pal late.
And that's the interesting thing you said, that turn of foot really was just visually inspiring. And I think a lot of people, I don't want to say got down on her from her effort in the Commonwealth Cup, which was the big step up for her coming over. And she really just, I don't know if you want to say it's a turned around form from that day or just it was a throw out and you kept moving. But she was fantastic, and she's absolutely the rival that Golden Pal will be worried about.
Yeah, so there's actually another go in here that we have to keep our eyes on. That is Winter Power for Tim Easterby. Sylvester de Souza, she returned a career best performance in a listed race at York. She was part of a supersonic pace before that in the King's Stand, which didn't work out for her. She actually is going to try and be more forwardly placed there. Maybe she could get a nice toe from Golden Pal.
And it's a nice prep race. The City Wall Stakes is a nice prep race stepping into this. It's at the track, which is always a good feature. I mean, I'm interested to see it about 11-2 right now. I would want a little bit more in the market, but I do think she has the ability. It is a step up because these are some pretty talented sprinters, and it's a big field, so obviously there's a lot of factors there. But you get a little bit better price on this horse, and I think you could make a case.
Yeah, talking about maybe getting a price, I do have a price play in here. Emirati Anna for trainer Kevin Ryan. Of course, he won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint last year with glass slippers. Andrea Azzini on board. Apparently, in his last race at Hamilton Park, he missed setting the course records by 0.04 seconds. Now, that was in a Class 3 handicap. That's, of course, a big drop from the pattern races. But at 50-1, I love him for an each way shot. Do you have anyone that you're interested in at a price, Alex?
Yeah, the one horse that really jumped out to me was Rohan. So Rohan had put together a nice start to the season, won the Walkingham. Won a couple smaller stakes, jumped up into that Group 1 company, has put together 2 performances that haven't been great. But what really has jumped out to me is they've decided to cut back. They jumped up to 6.5 for the last start. And I wasn't thrilled about it when they did it. Now they're cutting right back to the 5. I think this is a pretty good value play in this spot. It was trading about 25-1 last time I looked at the market, which was only about 5-10 minutes ago. And I just think it's going to make a major difference. The horse showed the talent early in the season. Yes, it was against slightly lesser company, but it was against good company. I mean, the Group 2 Sandy Lane was a solid race this year. And I think 25-1, I'll be playing myself for sure.
Absolutely great value there. Of course, that's what you're able to get with these deeper fields across the pond in Europe. So let's go over some of the top contenders in this year's Nunthorpe Stakes Group 1 coming up on Friday. Win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint race this year at Del Mar. we're hoping to crown another turf sprint star in Golden Pal. Of course, we all know him from that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint victory, where he was so devastating, having to come over from that wide draw. But that early turn of foot, that gait ability has helped him out that day as well. Do you think it's going to help him out today here, Alex?
It feels really weird saying that a horse is such a likely favorite as Golden Pal when you're dealing with a talented field of 15 sprinters. But it really is the case. I mean, we've seen it time and time again from Golden Pal, and I think you're going to be seeing a very similar spot here. There's value elsewhere in a field of talented sprinters, but I think you've got to keep one eye on Golden Pal at all times.
It feels like he is the most likely winner, especially turning back from the 5.5 to the 5 furlong distance. I think that's going to highlight his early ability even more. Of course, Wesley Ward trains Frankie Dettori, looking for a 4th win in the Group 1 Nunthorpe. But we are going to be keeping our eyes on the filly, the French contender here, drawn in gate 14, sways for trainer Francis Rohut, William Buick. She has a devastating turn of foot shown in her victory in the Group 2 King George Qatar Stakes. Will she be able to reel him in, you think?
I think they've known what they've had with this filly for a while. The efforts in France were really impressive. Throw out that Commonwealth Cup. Just looking back at it, it's a complete washout race for her. And she showed how talented she was last time out. She's a go, and that if that turn of foot shows up at all again, the rest of the field's going to have a lot of work to do.
I'm getting so excited about this year's Nunthorpe. But before we finish things off, I'm going to give a quick price bet here. Have a bit of interest in Emirati Anna, 5-year-old gelding for trainer Kevin Ryan. He won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint last year with Glass Slippet, as we highlighted earlier. Apparently, Emirati Anna just missed out on setting a new course record at Hamilton Park. Missed out by about 0.04 seconds. And at 50 to 1, love him as an each way shot. Who will you be using as a price play, Alex?
I think there's a lot of good prices in here, and I'm going to look at Rohan. I mean, this horse has put together some really good efforts early in the season, has disappointed as a step up to Group 1 company, so the class will be a question, but the cutback in distance, they moved back up to 6.5 for the last start, didn't work out. They're dropping right back to this 5 furlongs, and at 25 to 1, I am thrilled with the play that I'm getting.
Love that as well. 25 to 1, certainly worth another look. So the field is set for this year's Coolmore Wootton Bassett Group 1 Nunthorpe Stakes. Breeders' Cup winning, you're in for the turf sprint at Del Mar. If you want to watch the entire handicapping video, go to inthemoneypodcast.com as well as the YouTube channel. Good luck, everyone.